Okay, this is a different video for me to create for you. I was starting off the editing process, trying to pull together a video that really kind of concisely walked you through what a day in the life is like when you're on the road. This was from this big camping trip that we just did. And the more I was putting all this footage together, the more I felt like, you know what, this is a video about how camping feels and how it feels to camp together as a couple. So it's not going to be for everybody, but I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed reliving those moments that Mike and I had together. I love camping with him. Um, please make sure you like and subscribe. Please make sure you put a comment about whether or not you think, Mike's beard might actually be white now. Here we go.
So good morning. It's what time is it? It's 5:37. It's 5:37, and we are headed out from what has been an incredibly beautiful, peaceful place to camp. Hopefully to our next one. And I thought maybe I would just take you through a day in the life today because I haven't done anything like that in a long time. And if you're thinking about, well, is camping for me? This will be like a real life, this is what it's really like when you're out and about pulling your camper. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jennifer Preston. My husband Michael and I are the OG of Happier Campers. We had our first HC1, number 44, in 2016. And today, in 2024, we are pulling an HCT. So if you're interested in the Happier Camper brands, you want to learn a little bit more about them, or you're new to camping or thinking maybe I want to get into camping, hopefully our channel has some content that will help you. So like and subscribe, and I'll take you on a little walk around this site because it's so beautiful, and then we'll make our way over to the camper and see if my husband is, I won't say getting up, but thinking about getting up. Let's go. So here is the spot that we have been in for the last 2 days. And you can see there's just nobody around. Of course, it's 5:30 in the morning, but now the reason for that is these are group sites. I didn't fully understand what that meant when we booked. But when we booked, I booked that spot, this spot, and that spot down there. Yeah, so basically I booked, I don't know, a third of the loop that we're staying on. It's been quiet anyway, but we pulled up, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? What did I do? And we felt guilty because obviously that meant nobody else could get these spots. But we talked to the camp host and let them know that if someone shows up, just give them those extra spaces. But yeah, it's so beautiful here. And I think this is kind of the number one reason why we love to camp. Every once in a while, you get an experience like this where it's just so beautiful and it's so private, and that doesn't happen often. I think the place that we're going to today in Colorado is probably going to be pretty busy. It is midweek, but still, it's camping season. So I don't expect it to be very private, but yeah, it's been absolutely amazing here. And we really needed the break because we've kind of been on the go. Well, I've been on the go since June 14th, and it's, I don't know, like July 11th now, I think. So I've been on the road for a long time. Never done this before this long. And Mike and I left, when did we leave? Edmonton, probably July 2nd. So we've been on the road for a little more than a week together. But yeah, it's been an amazing trip. And today, I'll take us back over towards the camper. Actually, look at this. I gotta show you this. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, so today we're gonna do some of the basics when you are doing road trips. One is we're definitely gonna get a camper and the car / truck over to a car wash. We saw one in Vernal, in the city proper, the town proper. We want to get ourselves kind of cleaned up a little bit. And then we're gonna head to a local coffee shop, which I'm pretty excited about. I haven't had much coffee on this trip. And then we will get on the road. But let me take you over to the spot that I think is the most special on this trip here, or at least this campground stay. Let's go check this out. You can see it now. How about that? There's a lot of birds around. I have an app I use to identify the bird song, and then I log it to my Audubon app, which might be the geekiest old person thing ever, but I love it. It's been amazing to see all the different birds here and to listen to all the bird song. Yesterday, Michael, I'll have to walk you through our setup so that we have internet. We're using Starlink. It's been amazing. So Michael sat underneath those trees over there yesterday, had the Jackery going for power, had Starlink set up, and he watched the England match. And England won. So England's going to the finals in the Euros, and that is a really big deal. So on Monday, I think that's when the final is. We're going to have to stop wherever we are, set up the Starlink, and make sure he gets to watch the match. So if you see anybody in some kind of weird pullout area in Colorado, then you'll know what's going on. But yeah, so yesterday when he was watching that match, some of the great, bighorn sheep. He had bighorn sheep coming down to the river and drinking. It was just amazing. Now, I can't see the track anymore, but in front of us, in the mud, the first day we got here, I'll insert a picture if I can find it. I saw a track that looked to me like it was probably a mountain lion. And then that night we were sitting out just enjoying the night sky, and we heard in the brush around us a really, really deep grunting sound, which we were convinced was either a bear or a mountain lion, but I think after seeing that track, that's probably what it is. But if you're really lucky, you get a camping experience like this. I could easily stay here another day, but we are on track for spending tonight in Colorado. And then from there, we're going to Chaco Canyon, which I am super excited about. But I know the roads getting into Chaco can be really, really tough. And if there's been any kind of rain, the roads get washed out. You can't even get in. So I'm going to make a couple calls today, make sure the roads are passable. And so we're going to get the car washed. We're going to get ourselves a coffee. We're going to make sure our campsite reservation for a couple days out is in good form. And we're going to have a bit of a drive, and we'll take you along for that. And in another video, I'm going to explain the really, really big mishap that we had on this trip. I'll link that in the description below. It was intense. Hopefully today's going to be nice and quiet. So let's go see if my husband's awake. my sweet.
Oh, no.
You ready to start our day?
Not on video.
Well, we'll give you a chance to get up before I keep filming. So this, without putting my husband on camera, is actually what the real life experience is of having a rig like this, where your cubes are your storage. So, you know, when we go to bed at night, we often leave stuff out on the kitchenette. We have stuff on the top of the fridge. Now, we do use the upper storage for bits and bobs. And even in the wet bath, we've got this bamboo shelf that is from the old rig. And while we're not traveling, we'll throw stuff up there. But yeah, so we actually, you'll see, this is my little cubby back here. And let me explain why Mr. Preston is on one side and this is on the other. So let me explain how our sleeping arrangement is set up. Because you can set up in the HCT, you can have the back is a full size. We think we can do a queen in the front without a problem, but we have to block the door. But before we did that, we thought through, well, why would we want to have two sleeping areas? Now, when we travel with the dogs, it's kind of necessary because Rose needs to sleep with me no matter what. And Charlie is as big as a human. And so if I'm back here with Rose, Michael's going to be on the front of the camper with Charlie. And we haven't gone on a trip yet where we both got Charlie, Riley, who are both big. I mean, their combined weight is about 300 pounds of dog. So we're going to have to see how that goes. We haven't been brave enough to give that a trial run. But also, and I know this will sound silly, but even though we're traveling without the dogs, we each have a private space in the camper where we can go to read or listen to music or, you know, I can play my mobile games. And when you're on the road together and you've been spending days in a car and then your days and nights are in the camper, you do need to carve out some time and some space for yourself. And I think that having these two little separate sleeping areas is really helpful for that. Now, when we get to some hotter nighttime climbs, we're probably going to change the configuration of the camper. And I think this is one of the cool things about the Happier Camper. Where I'm sitting right now, which is the back where I've been sleeping, I think we're going to convert that over to be like the storage kitchen / seating area. And then the front of the camper, we're going to kit out to be a queen size bed where we both sleep. And that's how it used to be with the HC1. We always had the queen size and we slept together because that was just the way we did it. But if the weather's getting hot, we've learned some things about our air conditioner, and I'm going to do a separate video about that. And it's great if you can just kind of direct the cold air onto the space that you want to cool down. It doesn't cool the entire interior of the camper the way like your AC in your apartment does. So if we both want to be cool that night, we're probably going to have to set up a queen size setup and point the air conditioning directly at us, which I think is going to work fine, but we haven't tried it yet. So fingers crossed that's going to work well. But yeah, so we have a lot to do to get ready this morning in terms of securing everything inside the camper, because we've been here for a couple of days. We've just kind of let things get, put down wherever we feel like putting them down, but you can't travel like that because stuff shifts inside the camper. So I don't think we're going on any back roads or anything on the way to this next campground, but we do still want to make sure that our things aren't flying all over the place. So as soon as my husband wakes up, which is hopefully soon, we will start talking through what we need to do to get ready. There's really not a lot. It's for us because Michael put a lot of things away last night in terms of, the Jackery, the Starlink, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, so we just need to secure the interior and then get ourselves hooked up, make sure the exterior is all locked down, no open windows or anything, and then we will hit the road. I'm going to hit a couple of the places here in Dinosaur National Monument that I just wanted to check briefly before we leave. We got a really cool picture of the camper last night. It's such a beautiful spot. So yeah, let's get securing the interior. So I just got the bed topper folded up, and I've got one of the tabletops behind the fridge, and then, whoops, Michael has been storing his overnight bag under the bed, but that's in the way. So I do have some front open cubes. I have some kitchen things I wanted to slide in there, but I can't because his bag is there, so I'm going to go in through the tops of the cubes. I think this is something to be thinking about. There is so much storage in the Happier Campers. These cubes are 20 inches by 20 inches, and you'd be shocked by how much stuff you can fit in there. And you have to be prepared to constantly be thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead as to, okay, where's the thing? How am I going to get it? If it's underneath a bed that I've set up, okay, when do I need that next? Because maybe I won't take down the bed for this day trip, because I'm not going to need that thing until the next day. So it's like a reality of camping in general. It's certainly a reality of using the Happier Campers, because like I think one of the biggest benefits is how much storage they have. But that comes at a little bit of a price in that, yeah, you're constantly thinking about like, okay, well, where is that thing? How am I going to get to it? Is it easy? It kind of forces you, I think, in some ways to keep the camper a little bit more tidy, which is helpful. But yeah, I mean, for a trip like this so like I said, I've been on the road since June 14th. It's, I don't know, July 11th. I am definitely mentally at a place where I don't want to have to search for anything. Like I want a day where things are just easy. And it isn't always like that when you camp. I think anybody who's been out on the road before understands that. And it ebbs and flows, you know, like hopefully Mike and I aren't both having time like that at the same time. But yeah, you just have to roll with things, and you have to stay like, okay, yep. There's like 4 things I got to do before I can do the thing. But that's just the nature of camping. It's a lot of inconvenience. I mean, there's just no 2 ways about it. And yet, that footage I just shared with you of being at this beautiful location on this river, I don't know, that inconvenience is totally worth it to us. And that's why we camp. Now, that being said, today's Thursday, so a week from today, at the latest, we are pulling into our storage spot for the camper, which I'm super excited about. The idea of going home. I'm also really excited about the camping we have remaining. Now, I mentioned I have to figure out Chaco Canyon. That could be washed out. I'd be really disappointed if that was the case, but it's okay. I mean, this has happened once before. We were up in that area, and it rained like 2 days beforehand, and the road was impassable. But I'm hoping that we can still make that as part of this trip. Then we have to make some decisions, because we have, I guess it would be 4 or 5 more camping nights on our way back down to Louisiana to get home to New Orleans. But there have been some awful floods, flash floods in New Mexico. And one of the places that we are intending to stay has definitely, like, one town over from where there's been a really bad flood. I'm wondering if the weather issues are going to cause us to basically finish Chaco Canyon and be like, okay, you know what? It's been an amazing trip, and we've done this part of New Mexico before, so why don't we just head back to New Orleans as directly as we can? Yeah, I mean, we might end up doing that, but we would miss the Great Array, which is, if you've ever seen the movie Contact, it's the dish array out in the desert. I've always wanted to see that, so I'm hoping we don't have to miss that. I'm sure we're going to get there and be like, oh yeah, a lot of discs. But yeah, it just looks like a cool location, so I'm hoping we get to include that in our itinerary still. But now that we live in Louisiana, taking a trip to something like that is so much more reasonable. When you're traveling from the East Coast and you're trying to get out to the Southwest, or at the West, or the Midwest, Anything beyond maybe, if you're from Boston, anything outside of 128, it just seems like a lot of work to get there. And especially if you're on a tight time frame, you're taking X number of vacation days, you're going to spend 3 days just getting there to the state that you want to be doing camping in. That's tough. We've done that, and those trips are good, but it's very, very difficult. So, we feel very fortunate now that we're in Louisiana, that we've got a little bit better of a jumping off point to get to some of those places. So I'm going to finish trying to get things organized in here, and hopefully Mike's going to come back clean shaven. His beard is coming in very white, like Santa Claus white, and I think he's in a little bit of denial that that he looks as mature as he now does with his white beard and primarily white hair, which he insists is not, but you can put some comments in below and let us know what you think about that. So yeah, I'm going to keep going and take you along for this organizing ride, and then yeah, we'll see where Michael's at.
Here I am, unexpectedly on camera at 6 something in the morning, having shade.
You're very tolerant of my sleep habits.
I have a tan. I've like caught
I
the
know.
sun.
Yeah.
Look at my arms.
And this is unusual for him.
Me, that's incredible.
Being, yeah. I always say that Michael is like so pale that he's like one of those baby fish where if he didn't have his shirt on, you could see his heart beating through his chest.
Nice.
That's how pale you are, though. You're very English in that regard.
Just look at my legs. My legs are very pale.
Well, yeah.
They're not on camera though.
Not yet. All right, so I have just gotten this side of the camper ready to go.
I have nowhere to sleep now.
We'll make it work. And then I'm going to sort the bed. The bedding's all sorted over there. I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm going to leave you alone, and I'll take the camera with me so you can get dressed.
Great. So it's a day in the life, but not like the entire day?
No.
Certain bits can be edited out?
Yeah, I feel like...
It's not like an OnlyFans version?
I think we're a little old for that. Although there's probably a demographic somewhere that... No. So you finish up in here, and then I think we're really at the point where we can hook up. And then hopefully that car wash is open at 7 a.m.
I doubt it.
I think it's one of those like things you just drive in and like...
I guess you'll find out.
Yeah.
There might be some locals looking at you to say,
what the... Yeah, I know.
Could
by the way...
tea and coffee first.
It's in the wrong direction. I'm very about efficiency, like the fact
I might just make tea before we go.
No, you can't do that. I'm on the.
I said a coffee press right here.
I told them about that. I was putting away your kettle, which I mentioned was of vital importance to the trip.
Even though it's broken.
Well, yeah, it is. Well, the handle's a little warped. Yeah. Right. So, day in the life. So what happens next? So you're going to get ready. We're going to do a walk around, make sure everything's on the... So I've been thinking about doing a video specifically on the... Like, people are intimidated about hooking up and, like, going somewhere with their camper. So I was thinking of doing, like, it's really, like, a 3-step process. 1, make sure the interior is like to a place where things are secured and they're not going to go flying around. Yeah,
there's some things about my head that are going to fly around.
Yeah, so you'll have to sort that. Yeah. 2 is you do a walk around the exterior of the camper and make sure all the windows are closed, nothing is still hooked up.
This one's still open.
You're going to have to sort that. That your stabilizers are up. And then 3, make sure you hook up properly.
We should do a whole video on not hooking up, having hooked up properly.
We could do that now. And we can show the damage to the camper hitch as a result.
Which can be replaced.
Fixed. It can be, yeah. That guy in Canada, he was like clearly this is a person who has a lot of like problem solving skills of his own, because he's like, yeah, just take, saw, you'll cut that off and then you can drill some new holes and pop your flywheel on that. And I was like, yeah, no, we can go to a camping place and they can replace that.
Well, he was like a retired guy, and he was probably had time on his hands.
This this is another video. But literally, when we had this camper emergency, it happened directly in front of a house with 2 old guys sitting out in front of it. One of whom actually built his own like trailer. So we were in good hands, even if it ended up only being emotional. Like, because I said to them, I was like, "Thank you so much for your like helping us."
Yeah.
And the guy said, like, "Well, we didn't do anything." I was like, "It was emotional support. We needed that in that moment."
We did.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna leave you to it, and yeah, if you can just do the last bits here on the interior.
I can do that. Get the window up, I would say 1.5 inches, maybe 2. Now, 1/2 inch if you can. Stop, that's good.
How good am I? I can feel the.
Yeah. Well.
This is just moved up.
Wait there.
Oh, that's not good. No, the brake light's not working on the left side. Brake light's not working on the left side at all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a left blinker or a left brake light.
Just won't turn left.
Isn't that like a UPS driver thing? Don't they only
Yeah,
turn left or something?
No, they only turn right.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, it is what it is.
It is. But you know what? I think people give campers a little bit of room,
leeway,
right?
yeah.
So I can almost stick my arm out the window.
You could do that, yeah.
Have you seen that Michael Caine movie? He does that. He puts his arm out the window and he's trying to stop someone from overtaking, and his hand hits the oncoming car and it completely severs his hand.
What?
And then the hand lands in a field, and he goes looking for it. He can't find it because the hand's crawled off. And then the hand channels all his evil thoughts going forward. Like he's a cartoonist, and he can't cartoon it anymore, and so it scribbles out the other person's cartoons, and he ends up killing people. You know.
Okay,
like
so we're gonna get some
The
coffee
Hand
now.
with Michael Caine. Watch it. It's an old classic.
Okay, so we're gonna go
But
get
I'll still be
coffee
sticking my
now.
hand out the window.
Yeah. Well, do you know the driving signals? Do you know how to do it? Like, there's certain things, like left,
I've had
right,
a few signals.
stop. Yeah, no, not Mr. Finger Puppet. I mean, like, do you literally know the
Well, I only
hand
need to
signals?
do left. Yeah, you have to know to pass your driving test, but then you forget about it because you know.
Okay, well, you do
Every
need
day.
stop as well, seeing as we don't have a blinker, a stop.
Oh, that'll be alright. They'll figure that out.
Okay, we're gonna go now, and yeah, we're gonna go to like a little bit of a drive here through Dinosaur National Monument, and going to maybe get some stops in. I don't know. I just need a coffee.
When we leave the park, it's a right turn, and we get down to Main Street that takes us to Vernal, and it's a right turn. So we're in great shape. And the coffee place is on the right, isn't it?
Just to be clear, ignorance is bliss when you don't know that something's not working, because then you just cruise along. You're like, yeah, it's all good. So I'm going to be thinking about this for the next, I don't know, do we have like 1,500 miles left, at least?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right turns.
Let's go. Let's turn right.
Okay.
Yikes. How many baked goods? Yeah. I guess it's a drive-through. Well, it's gonna be a walk-through for us.
at.
Good. I guess we're doing a walkthrough.
Nope, that's perfect. We love it.
Can I get a 20-ounce mocha?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what do you got? What have you got for pastries or something like
I
that?
have got some muffins. I made blueberry scones. We have homemade frosted oatmeal cookies, biscotti, biscuits and gravy, bagels and cream cheese, and some cinnamon rolls.
Wow. Okay. What was the muffin option?
We've got banana nut, blueberry, double chocolate, or coffee cake.
Double chocolate.
Double chocolate,
Yeah.
good choice.
And you said you have blueberry muffins
The
as well?
blueberry,
Oh, sorry, not scone.
the
Sorry.
scone.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Scone. And then,
I'm gonna let you have it.
do you have a hot? Yeah, do you have
We got our coffee and tea, and left Vernal. I think I was asleep within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Missed Dinosaur, Colorado, which looks like a fine town.
Very disappointed in that.
A little dinosaur exhibits, creatures, plastic things.
Yeah, I got up at 3:30 this morning, so I was just hit the wall all of a sudden. But now we are on a 2-lane road driving through. We're in Colorado now,
On the edge of the Rockies,
on the edge of the Rockies, and we are heading to
Grand Junction.
Grand Junction, and then Ridgeway State Park. So we have another 3 hours to go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this place. I don't know that it's going to be anything like the privacy that we just had. In fact, I suspect not. But they have an electric hookup, which we need, and showers, which we want, and yeah,
Liquor stores.
and
which-
liquor stores, which they're
Well, they're in Utah, but they're few and far between.
yeah.
And they don't sell booze in the supermarket, which just seems inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take an extra wife or two.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, we're listening to Colm Kelleher's Skinwalker audiobook on this trip, which is really interesting because this, Utah, northern Utah, northeastern Utah specifically, is where that story is really based out of, but the whole area is kind of, I'll say, subject to the paranormal. So, yeah, we're going to just enjoy the ride, and then we'll get ourselves set up at the next place where I do not think we will unhook.
Oh, sounds good to me.
We just went by a KOA, and Mike and I were reminiscing about when we bought our HC1 back in 2016, how we had no idea what we were doing. I mean, we were just so grateful to get to our first night's stay, which was a KOA. And so like, oh God, I hope the people next to us don't see that we have no idea what we were doing. We're like, do we unhook? Do we, yeah.
Well, and hopefully they didn't notice the fact that I almost blew up the camper stove by trying to attach.
The wrong propane.
It was butane I was trying to put in or something.
Yeah, you were trying to, whatever. Yeah, it was.
And then my hand went all freezing cold and something was spraying on me.
Yeah, it was not a good situation, actually. It was kind of nuts.
Threw it outside and the can was spinning around and round and round.
Yeah.
Who knows what was going on?
Yeah, it was a little dicey. But you know what? I mean, you figure it out, and everybody goes through it. Like, it should never be a reason not to get a camper, that you're intimidated, that you're not going to know what to do. You're going to know what to do. And if you don't, there are going to be people around you who are happy to help. I mean, that is the one thing I can say about the camping community, is everybody is ready to, like, just say, hey, how can I help you? It's really wonderful. It's like one of the best things I think about camping is how great people are. Although I was thinking about this like yesterday when, our setup is a little ridiculous, right? When we get set up at a campsite, we've got a Jackery with a solar panel, we've got a Starlink, we've got this.
We're both sitting there with laptops.
Yeah, I mean we have a rather technology heavy setup, and it's just so glamping. Like, we don't camp, right? Like, we don't go off into the wilderness and like emerge 5 days later. I mean,
Oh yeah, I paddled in the river yesterday.
you did.
The
That
Green
was
River.
true. Yeah.
Went up
That's
to
good.
my knees in it.
Yeah, but you know what? But that's okay, right? Like, there's like a spectrum of the different types of people who are camping, and we happen to be kind of pegged on the glamping end of that, which, okay, I'm okay with that. One thing we were just talking about, which I wish we could do something different about, I need to think about this, is the amount of plastics that we've used on this trip has been outrageous. And it really comes down to, like, this is just a very dehydrating environment to be in. Even if you're in the car with the AC running, it's just that constant recirculated air. It makes you really dehydrated, and so we're constantly drinking bottled water or vitamin water. And I mean, I would guess that we're going through 4 bottles a day each.
Yeah.
So just think of what that is in just 1 week. That's over 50 bottles of plastic.
And some places like in Yellowstone, they recycled, so that was good. We were able to separate.
Yeah.
But in a lot of other places, you just have to put it in with the.
But when you look at what's going on out in the Pacific Ocean with all of the plastics, it's clear that, like, you know, we might think we're recycling it, but it's not getting actually recycled. It's getting dumped somewhere. So I don't know. Yeah, that's something I'd like to figure out an option for. Oh, Mike's getting a business call.
What?
It was a good day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
It was a pretty relaxed day considering it was a fairly long drive. It was about 5 hours.
I feel like it felt long because, I mean, because 5 hours isn't a long drive for us really, but I feel like it felt long because the roads were narrow. They went over they went over, you know, cliffs, and it's a little dicey.
Well, it was funny because the GPS took us off the main freeway a couple of times, right, when we could have stayed on it. But that was nice because we saw a little sort of bit of backwoods Colorado we wouldn't have seen otherwise. And that when we left Utah, it was very, very high up, windy switchback roads with almost to stop you going over the edge. And then a long, a long drop down into Colorado. So
that was really big,
into, Grand Junction eventually.
We're here. This is a nice campground.
This is a nice campground.
Yeah, it's Ridgeway State Park, and I'll pan around after we kind of close out the day, just to show people. We did just have some deer come through. That was nice. But I think we made a big decision today.
We may be heading home early.
Yeah. So it's only 2 days. Yeah, we'd only shaved 2 days off the trip, and one of the stays that we're planning has a major flood in the area, and we'd have to remap out part of our trip anyway to get back to avoid that location, and that's going to start to get more complicated, and we miss the dogs.
You miss the dogs.
And I miss my plants.
I believe the dogs miss us.
I believe the dogs miss us as well. And so tonight we actually did something that we have never done before. We tested out the shower in the camper. And I can say definitively that the drain works. And that is about all I can say.
So far. But we need to refill with water tomorrow and
we're going to test
the
it.
whole pressure thing.
Yep.
But yeah, the drain was great. And so was the big jug of water
that we ended up using.
ourselves.
Yeah. That was I'll just say it was disappointing as experienced, but maybe it will get better.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of mosquitoes around tonight.
There are. It's right on your head.
But are you gonna hit me?
Oh, it's gone. Oh, no, it's gone.
Well.
Tempted.
So we've got. It's amazing though. We've got, if we were to leave from Chaco Canyon and go home to New Orleans, it's about 19 hours, which we were saying it's only slightly less than the drive that we used to do from Providence down to New Orleans, which is crazy given how long we've been on the road that we're still that far away from home. But yeah, as expected, and I think it'll be good. I know I'm ready. I mean, I've been on the road myself since June 14th. My friend Ellen and I left on our son Ryan's birthday, which was good. If you've watched my video about why Mike and I have been away from doing videos and info on the camper, it's directly related to the fact that our son passed away, and it was his birthday, and it was good for me to have like this thing I had like so much energy built up around, and yeah. So that was good.
And then I've been away since the 21st when they finally let me into Canada.
Yeah, you had a bit of a mishap, yeah. Maybe we can do a little bit of a video into Chaco Canyon. That's supposed to be a very, very tough road So, but actually, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. We're gonna drive. I think it's an hour to Silverton,
Yep.
which is like an old west kind of town, and then I think it's another hour to Durango.
Yeah, maybe less than that actually, but yeah.
Yeah, and we've been to Durango before, so we'll have
We
probably
lost a wheel
brunch
hub.
there.
We lost a hubcap in
We
Durango,
did.
and we went back and got it, but it fell off.
We did. We were driving the HC1. That
One of
was
the
the
moon-
original
one of the
trip
moon hubcaps.
because we were going up to Mesa Verde, so that was the original trip that we took in 2016. And then from Durango, it's about 2.5 hours to get down to Chaco Canyon. So it'll be about, I think, like a 6-hour day all in. But I think it's going to be amazing. This is Chaco Canyon's always been on my bucket list, and I finally get to do it.
Well, we couldn't do it last time because the weather was so bad, right? The road was impassable.
Yeah.
Hopefully
But
that's
more
not
importantly, I
gonna-
get to do it with my honey. Yeah.
The dogs aren't here, but at least I am.
Yeah, exactly. And my plants. My plants aren't here.
Oh, some relegated. Is it third or is it fifth?
No, you're
'Cause
number
there's three
one.
dogs. Oh,
You're number
yeah,
one.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like, I keep watching plant videos every night. I mean, that's for me why the Starlink is even with us. Yeah, I have a really good collection of philodendrons and alocasia and a couple
They're
of
in good
Hoya.
hands with Kate.
They are. Well, I think they are. I don't think Katie feels confident, but I am confident in Katie. Yeah.
She's been doing a good job. I
She's
saw
been
her
doing
in
a great
action before
job.
I left. She was
Yeah.
doing fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. That's a day in the life. We're gonna go get our beds set up and ignore each other and have some nice, quiet, alone time.
Nice.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Okay, this is a different video for me to create for you. I was starting off the editing process, trying to pull together a video that really kind of concisely walked you through what a day in the life is like when you're on the road. This was from this big camping trip that we just did. And the more I was putting all this footage together, the more I felt like, you know what, this is a video about how camping feels and how it feels to camp together as a couple. So it's not going to be for everybody, but I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed reliving those moments that Mike and I had together. I love camping with him. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Please make sure you put a comment about whether or not you think, you know, Mike's beard might actually be white now. Here we go. Okay, this is a different video for me to create for you. I was starting off the editing process, trying to pull together a video that really kind of concisely walked you through what a day in the life is like when you're on the road. This was from this big camping trip that we just did. And the more I was putting all this footage together, the more I felt like, you know what, this is a video about how camping feels and how it feels to camp together as a couple. So it's not going to be for everybody, but I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed reliving those moments that Mike and I had together. I love camping with him. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Please make sure you put a comment about whether or not you think, you know, Mike's beard might actually be white now. Here we go.